Welcome to A Fish Out of Water podcast. This is your host, Richard Lipman. Today we're interviewing Sonia Sieff. This is part 2 of 2. This podcast is kindly supported by Camera Museum of London, pre-owned Hasselblad specialists located at 44 Museum Street, London, WC1A 1LY. Visit the website on www.cameramuseum.uk. Yes, I can hear you. One moment. I'm just looking here. I see you've moved space.
Yeah, is it a problem for you?
No,
Maybe?
not at all. It's nice white background.
Okay, sorry. And the sound is a bit strange here.
I see it's
Is it-
echoey.
It's
Okay.
a bit ugly.
Yeah, I'm looking at some of your shots here. I'm looking I'm trying to find the Franco shot here.
It was for El Mondo. It was a long time ago. I was super young. It's just that it was one of my best experience. And I would love to do more shoots like this. For me, doing portrait fashion in a real atmosphere, meaning when I have to travel, I'm at my best.
Right. And we know that, well, that's fantastic. And we definitely want to see more of your work. There's another photographer, a Sicilian photographer, that does that. And I think the story goes that he was picked up in his early 20s by Dolce & Gabbana. He had a book out previously documenting the festivals in Sicily because he's a street guy. Yeah. And then the church went crazy. And his name is Ferdinando. Have you heard of him?
Give me his name.
Ferdinando Scianna. You'd love him. You'll absolutely love him. He's right up your street. He worked for. He was a sort of news journalist. I mean, he does portraits. He works for brands, but he does it in a way that's very street. Yeah, that's very different from what you see in the studios and the fashion shoots.
I'm looking at his work. Yeah. I mean, for me, reportage, it's like really the pictures I love the most when you don't know what you're gonna have, when you're on the street, when you have a kids or somebody who's just like cross in the picture. I mean, I like life. When things are too bordé, or I mean, this is why a studio for me it's very difficult. I'm doing a big studio next week, and it's also very interesting because you have to play on lights and to be very precise with the model you're shooting. And it's for jewelry. It's for a friend who's doing who's posing for a brand, and she has black skin, amazing. So I'm gonna play with black and white in film, in analog, of course. And I told her, trust me. I mean, she wanted to have references. I said, no, I'm not gonna send you some references. I'm not doing the pictures of other photographers. I'm only doing mine, and we're gonna find what is the best for you. We're gonna try wide angle like Bill Brown. We're gonna try different. I mean, I'm gonna change my lenses and see what works on you with your face, with your your hair, how it works. And I'm not gonna reproduce a picture I've seen, which is for me terrible.
Is that possible to do something original?
Is it possible to do something original? I don't know. I always think, of course, everything, even unconsciously, maybe all the pictures have been done, of course.
How much time do you need to work with the model and the brand? I assume maybe it's a ring, or it's
a big necklace.
It's a necklace.
How much time? I can be very fast, but at the same time, when I have the time in front of me, and when you're working in analog, you're not shooting like you're shooting in digital, like you don't think you're shooting, and even if it's terrible, you don't care because it doesn't cost any money, in fact.
Are you gonna do a mood board?
No.
You don't do mood boards?
I can, but I have everything in mind, and she's pretty enough and interesting enough for me. Pretty, I mean, interesting. that I don't need because I've never shot her this way. So I'm gonna turn around her, see how her face works in the light, what we can do, where we can go, um, and being focused on her. And
How many,
it's
how many people are in the studio? Is a studio that's being rented in Paris or somewhere?
yeah, it is. It's a studio that will be rented, and will be, I don't know, like five, not a lot of people. And when I'm shooting, I prefer to be alone. I prefer really to be alone. I'm gonna close the studio. When you're doing portrait and naked, because she's gonna be naked,
Right.
uh, I really need to be alone with her. I don't want anybody who can see her, who can watch her, and she needs to be focused with me. That's why also I love analog, because when you're doing analog, you focus with the energy of the model you have in front of you. While you're doing digital, you're always on your phone, and you're never watching, you're never feeling, you never. I mean, everything is cut. So that's why analog. When I say to even to hair and makeup, they say I want to see the picture. I said no, you're not going to see anything. You see what you have. So you are focused. And if you focus, I mean, you're not missing. When you are in digital, people are speaking or watching their phone. They never understand the way they were before. Before, you were like, well, you cannot miss a picture because it's like in temps réel, you know? You have to be to watch and to be concerned. People are not concerned anymore. Everybody's on a screen. It's a terrible life. Terrible thing. You're missing so much.
Are you using 50 mm lenses to do the analog or
50? I'm not very 50 woman. I'm not a very 50. 50 is reality. I'm not real. I believe more in 35, or even I believe in wide angle, or in very 100 millimeter, or it depends. I'm gonna have the Hasselblad, so I would say I'm gonna have 120, 120 millimeter, and maybe 35 or 50.
wow. Okay, so that's like a 20 mil, 18 mil to
28,
like,
35. I really 50 is not the way. It is the way you. It's supposed to be the reality,
hmm.
but I'm never shooting in 50. This is very difficult for me. This lens is not my lens.
And your father would shoot 21, right? Or what?
21, 28, 35. And sometimes portraits, he would shoot the same as he's shooting very close up. Like you have a Kirk Douglas, for instance, is like this. I think it's 150, 150 millimeters, and it's like this cut, tack, the face. And this I love. Me, I love when it's extreme.
Hmm.
I'm not very comfortable in this comfort middle zone. Middle zone. What does it mean, middle zone? Are you having the same breakfast every morning?
But you certainly don't. Yes, I do. I have an apple every morning.
Yeah, you have an apple, but are you having always coffee, always tea, always?
Always
Yeah.
coffee every morning.
Okay. And do you have like habits?
Yeah, very bad habits every
Yeah.
day.
You're taking shower every morning or every night, right?
Yeah, every
This
morning if
kind
I
of man.
can.
Okay. Me, I'm more a night shower to clean the day.
When you're moving those lights, how is that possible? I mean, one person, you're in the studio's lights are so heavy and you're shooting analog, the backdrop is white. Or what are we doing here? Are we you doing black backdrops or white? Do you have to move everything around or
I have an assistant. I'm working with the same assistant since my 20s.
wow.
We're like a very old couple.
So, I think Robert Mapplethorpe also had an assistant and he worked with him or for a long, long time,
I
20
think he's
plus
my
years.
he's my husband. He's really my long-term relationship. And we like brothers and sisters. We know, I mean, even when I look at him, he knows if I like it, if I'm happy or unhappy.
You met
Um,
him?
Sorry?
Have you met Robert? Oh, you're talking about your assistant.
Yes.
How does he know? Is it just a feeling?
He knows me by heart. It's like, when you're working with somebody for 20 years, it means connection is working also. We have a very strong connection. We don't need to speak. He knows exactly what I think. Just one look and it's done.
But how does he know that with the final result of
And oh, he doesn't know, but I mean, he's. I mean, when we work together, when the light is not good, sometimes I just say no. We have to change. This is. I mean, light is really on the face. It's. Sometimes it needs to be very clean. Sometimes you want to be strong. You want to be. You have to create a mood. So we're testing things also.
are you into hard shadows or soft?
Oh, I mean, but I don't have I'm really, it depends who I have in front. This is really something because mainly all the photographers they have one style and then they are not adapting to the people they have in front, they're doing their style. Richard Dumas, who is doing great black and white photography, very strong, very deep, very the shadowy. He has his style. Me, I'm a little bit more concerned about who I have in front and I'm adapting myself. It doesn't mean I don't have a style because I believe I have one, but I'm also like connecting and trying to be on the same track or to reveal the person I have in front. It's not only about myself. I'm not only about myself. This is one thing. I'm not this kind of artist who has one style, one point of view, and everything has to converge to himself. I'm not this kind of person. I'm interested in the person I have in front of me. So if I feel something different, I will make it softer. If I feel something very dark and very evil or very, I will make shadows. I will be stronger.
What's your take on Annie Leibovitz? Do you think she does the same?
No, Annie Leibovitz when she was shooting younger. I saw her exhibition in Elle. I think it was like 2 or 3 years ago. A big, huge exhibition in the car. Everybody was shot in the car. I loved this exhibition. This was like walls of Bruce Springsteen. Everybody was in the car, and she was like shooting them while they were driving. This was amazing. I loved her first pictures because she was doing reportage, camera alone, simple. Then she became somebody else. She still is an amazing woman and photographer, and even her life has inspired me. The way she did kids, for instance, the way she managed her private and professional life. This is something she has inspired a lot of women like me, I guess. But like also other photographers, I'm really fond of Deborah Turbeville, of Sarah Moon, of Brigitte Lacombe, Dominique Isserman. These are very important women and photographers. After Annie Leibovitz, now the fact that it's very, it's a big setup, big lightings, a lot of assistants, a lot of people. It's fun, but I'm not very moved by the pictures I see. For me, it's too retouched. There's something which is like Botox. There's something too plastic. I prefer when she was. I would really highly recommend her to go back on a project alone with her camera. She's so talented. No, nothing, nobody, no assistant, only herself.
Yeah, I'm
I,
trying
I'm
to read. That's a good
sorry.
idea. Yeah. Okay. So, in other words, a full circle, right? Going back to her beginning.
Yes, she was so good, and she's so good. I really believe that she has not lost anything. The only thing is, after you, and I understand. I mean, you need money. You're working for Vogue. People are waiting for you to make like those big montage and big things with actresses, actors. It's super Hollywood. Okay, cool. But do your personal project. Go back to your roots. Annie,
Okay. So let's say Vogue asks you to do exactly the same thing as her. What would you tell them?
I will try to be in between and to convince her maybe to first I won't do the same as her because I'm not her. Then I will try to make it my way. I mean, to find a way in between to convince them. And I guess I guess they won't phone me for this, but if they do, yeah,
Do you?
I can play a game. The only thing I want to keep my style.
Okay. Do you have to please the audience, the subject, or the editor?
Myself. I have to please myself first. I have to do a great picture. And after, of course, it depends. If I have a big, I mean, if there's a big money issue and it's something with advertising, then I can play the game, of course. But if there's no money and the only thing is to do a good picture, yeah, I'm going to try to please myself. Of course, I'm going to discuss. Of course, if they want something to show this or this way, to be more commercial, I can work with people. But I have my character, and I guess Annie Leibovitz, she has her character too. The only thing is, I think all this way of working, like Peter Lindbergh had the same, like big team. It's like a cinematic. It's like a set. It's like a movie set, and I think it's great. I mean, why not? I'm a super. For me, it's really easy to be on a set and to drive a 50 person. I'm exactly. It's easy for me to work like this, and easy for me to be alone. I can do anything. I'm very flexible, and I need both. At the same time, that's why also I'm doing movies. It's that I need really sometimes to be with a big team, to feel the energy of everybody working on the same direction, and at the same time, sometimes I just need to be myself, my camera, and a ticket plane,
Sure.
and I decide
Can you
where to
give
go.
us, you mentioned playing the game. Can you give us an example of playing the game with advertisers and
Oh,
brands?
I do it all the
What's
time,
playing the
and
game?
you earn money thanks to people, and you just have to move this bag this way or this way. You're not choosing the model; it's their égérie, and you have to be nice, polite, and smiling. And I can, of course, I'm doing this. I mean, I have two kids to raise. It's really no problem for me to be very nice. I mean, to be, and even to try to do the best picture, to be following it. I mean, when you earn money, you earn money. I mean, there's no way I'm gonna make a scandal if it's not exactly what I was thinking. I'm, I mean, I'm as I told you, I'm flexible at the same time. Meaning, en français, in French, we say choisir ses combats. Choisir ses combats is to choose your what is combat? It's a fight. Choose your fights.
In some creative industries, in the creative industries, there's sometimes a mixture of personal and professional. Then you had all the scandals with the Me Too movement, which of course it wasn't a scandal. It was known for hundreds of years, right? Maybe thousands, right? It's just now become, women have got more rights. Tell us, what is there a mixture of personal and professional within the creative sectors, and how do you cope with that?
What do you mean exactly? You mean
You have to
am I?
be friends with everyone on set, in front of the picture. I mean, it's like, do you talk about personal things? Does it help? Or do you just focus on the task at hand when you're with clients or with subjects?
It really depends how I feel. If I feel comfortable, if I feel safe, if I feel it's only professional, I will keep it professional. I'm trying to have my boundaries also, and not to tell everything. At the same time, if I need to do a picture of somebody, I need to know this person. So I'm trying to connect. I'm trying to
How do you
ask
connect?
them. I ask them a lot of questions, but I'm not like it's not like an
What
inquiry.
questions do you ask them?
I tell them, I'm asking them first if they feel comfortable with this clothes, this attitude, this project, then how they do, how are they doing? How are they tired? Is their personal life okay? I mean, not, I don't want to ask questions they don't want to answer, but I'm trying to see in which mood the person I'm doing the picture is, and to be as sensitive as possible, as empathic as possible, to see if they are in big troubles, if they have like personal issues, you can feel it on in the picture. So it's always better to know. So sometimes I may ask a question, but I see if I have a if the person in front of me is willing to speak, of course we can have like hours of exchanges.
Have you ever shot Madonna?
No, I would love to. I would love to. I really believe she's an incredible woman, and whatever she has become is it's her personal life, and I'm not judging. As women, we should not be judging any other woman. I mean, people have the right to become what what they want. Even if she's changing her face, it's her thing. I mean, she always has been doing things differently, so it's her way.
Can you tell us a shoot with a very famous person and how that went?
Um, very famous person, David Cronenberg, for instance. I shot him.
And how was that? Can you tell us the context?
I was very impressed because he had this blue eyes, very strong, very deep, and the kind of man who is watching you from the inside. You know, when somebody is like
Mm-hmm.
is watching, smiling. It's very. It's sometimes more difficult to have somebody who's not willing to speak, rather than to have somebody who is in the communication. You know.
Did he say anything? What did?
He was watching me. He was with this actor. What was his name again? It was a long time ago. A very famous actor, David Cronenberg. Whatever. He was with a British actor, and they were watching me, and I didn't feel very comfortable, I have to say.
Do you think he was
I think
watching you like he was going to use you as bait for one of his movies, like The Fly?
I don't know. Maybe he was just like he was having fun because I was young, and when I was younger, and I'm still the same. When I'm shooting, I'm a very high on energy,
Uh-huh.
so I was moving a lot. I was making I was a bit stressed maybe. So maybe he was having fun watching me trying to feel natural, and as I wasn't, and he knew maybe he was. I was impressed. He could feel this, so he was watching me with a kind of amusement in his eyes. And
How long did you have? Were you in a studio?
oh no, he was doing his promotion for this movie, and
Which
I
movie?
had like 15 minutes. It was I learned a lot.
Crash?
Sorry.
Was it Crash, Eastern Promises, Jason X, Nightbreed, The Brood?
It was it was a long time ago because I'm working since I'm 20, so even
Yes.
17. David Cronenberg, it was, I think, with this, I'm gonna find it. Which film was it? It was not with Viggo Mortensen, who's one of my favorite actor. It was with another actor who was very famous at one time. Promesse de l'ombre. Maybe it was even
Like the
before.
previous ones.
Spider. It was for Spider.
Spider.
Uh, Spider, and I remember it was with Ralph Fiennes, the actor. It was in
Oh,
2000.
fine. Yeah.
I mean, it was really when I was super young,
Mhm.
and I was exactly the way you know how when you talk about a spider. A spider has a what's the name again? And
Web.
yeah, so I played, and I asked him to play with this web, and I found something quite nice. I like this picture. I did a good picture of him. We had like 15, this was a big school. I mean, a school. I learned a lot because when I was younger, for those premiere or studio magazine who were magazines only on cinema, I had like sometimes I was in Cannes. I had 5 minutes to shoot very famous actresses and actors, and I learned a lot.
What did you
because
learn?
to be very fast sometimes also when you don't have time you have to catch people are just here they have like a watch and you have to be prepared to have something in mind and of course it's not going to happen like the way you thought
Okay,
it would.
well, I mean, I imagine that, you know, you go to the shoot and you're thinking, okay, this actor was in this film. Let's do something connected with this film or that character. Do you think in that way?
Exactly. And for instance, for David Cronenberg, I came with this, you know, when you're a kid, you're playing with
Yeah.
this game. So I did this and I had this kid thing, this kid game. And so he did it and he played the game. Sometimes people just say, oh no, I'm not going to do this. And so you're trying, but you were not convincing. You couldn't convince them. So you have to find another solution in 2 seconds
Are
to
there
find another.
any times where it just didn't go right?
Of course, sometimes it doesn't go right. Sometimes people are very rude. And I remember shooting Clara Delevingne for the Telegraph magazine. And she came so late on the shooting, like so late. And she was very in a very bad temper, very bad mood. And I stopped. I took off down my camera and I looked at her and I said, "You know what? You don't want to be here. Me neither. I came from the. I mean, I took the Eurostar to come and shoot you for this cover story. And you know what? I propose you one thing. You want to go out. You want to have fun. You want to party. She was partying a lot at this time. I said, no problem. Give me 1 hour. But during 1 hour, we worked like hell. And she did it. She played the game. 1 hour later, she was out, and I did the whole, I don't know, 7, 8 pages in 1 hour and the cover. And yeah, sometimes you have to try. I mean, and I've never had very bad things like um, I never had somebody who ran out of my shooting or who cried or but I had so many other things. I had I mean sometimes models were like ill or were on drugs or yeah, I had all those shit. I mean I you have to be ready for anything because you're
Yeah.
meeting people you don't know in which state they are.
And when the people are on drugs,
It
how do you know
happened
that?
once. How do I know that? Because you couldn't avoid it. I mean, she was so high. Wow, she was on the shooting and she was laughing and and sometimes she was watching me and then I don't know. I think she had like drugs. I don't know which drug she had. Like it was big. It was very, and she was watching me and then suddenly she was laughing, 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 and then she couldn't stop. And then she wanted to sleep. I had also many models who suddenly want to sleep because they're tired because they've been doing I mean, they were partying all night. So, I mean, it happened many times that I had to stop the shooting and to let them sleep at least 1 hour. It's happened many times. Or I had to feed them. People who were like, some models were like starving or were on diet or were whatever. So I stopped everything and I did pasta. And I said, now we're going to stop this shit. You're going to eat first because if you have no energy, nobody's going to have any energy. Stop starving yourself and relax. So yeah, sometimes you have to become a mommy, somebody. I mean, I'm caring. So the model I have in front of me, I'm supposed to take care of them.
What are the top studios in Paris? What are your favorite ones?
As I told you, I'm not a very studio fan, but if I have to choose, I love the studio Sala because it has a real. I like the energy. I loved wow l'Olivier, but l'Olivier now it has become a very big studio. Studio in Paris. Um, Daylight Studio is good. The one in the, I mean, Pinup, Daylight, all those studio. Depends the energy. If you feel good. I have some studio I'm working wow, I have to studio. Wait 1 second. I have La Factory, LB Production. I love also shooting in the Paolo Roversi studio. He's renting his studio now. And I love the energy you feel in the studio because, of course, he's done so many good pictures. You have studio, you know you're going to do good pictures in it. Me, I believe in energy. So I believe some studio are like full of good energy and some are full of bad vibes.
What about in London?
In London, I'm not shooting in studio in London. I'm more shooting in the streets.
And
I'm
what,
more
and New York and other places or
same,
worldwide?
same. I'm really a street photographer. I mean, not a street, but real location photographer.
What are your favorite locations then in France or outdoors or
Houses,
worldwide?
our old houses which are not have not been renovated. This is one thing I love. So I'm asking always for Mir, which is an agency of location, where which location could be the good. She knows me, so I hate when when places have been renovated in this same style, which is nice to live but not to shoot. I like I like places with soul, so heavy places with life, with old taste, with fornica, with I'm more using like for instance Jacques Tati, which is a very famous French director. His descendant, his family are friends, and they're renting their place, which is like a daylight studio, but full of many objects. The kitchen is in fornica, like in the 50s. Nothing has been renovated. It is full of it's en français we say dans le jus, dans son jus. It means it has not changed for decades. I love those places.
What about castles and derelict?
Castles, yeah. I mean, all the real locations can be very interesting, or even architect, house of architect. This is crazy. I love those ones. Like Le Corbusier. I love Le Corbusier.
What about poor areas? Would you, for example, go to the banlieue and shoot there?
Sure, of course, I love it.
Have you? Have you been there?
Yeah, 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 yeah. I've been there. After when you go there, you better go with somebody who come from this area. Then if you have troubles, you have somebody who knows. I'm not going to shoot a fashion story with like this. Because I was once shooting in La Petite Ceinture, which is the old train which was doing like the tour of Paris. I don't know, 50 years ago. And La Petite Ceinture now is a place that you still have like cottages, restaurants, and things. And there's places also désaffectées, which mean they are closed to public, but you can go. And so I shot there, and you have like stations and everything is like in the olden days. And there was a gang who came and ran after us, and we had like, I don't know, 10 seconds to move. And I remember running with the camera, and really I didn't feel very comfortable after it. I'm not playing this game anymore.
Did they run after you with machetes or knives?
Not machetes, because we are in France, and in 2024 nobody has machetes here. We're not in wherever, but no, they were running after us, and we didn't know what they wanted. But of course, they wanted to have money or the material, or to steal us, I guess, or just to make fun of us. Maybe, I don't know. We'll never know.
How many of them were there?
I don't remember. 5, 10.
And okay. And so you're working on a documentary about Jean-Luc Sieff, your father, is that correct?
Yes.
Are you in the research phase?
No, I've been shooting the movie already. I have 2 hours. I shot and I did interviews of Charlotte Rampling, of Caroline Carson, of friends of my dad, famous or not famous. And I did all the interviews, maybe 15 to 20.
Hmm.
And now I'm more trying to make it have, I mean, the whole process is now to have like a TV channel following me. after the shoot, in fact.
So you made your film. Did you get any support or sponsorship for the
No, I
film?
created my own. I really wanted this project to be mine, exactly for the same as my male nude. My male nude, I had no support when I did it. I mean, when you're doing great project, most of the time, if you want to wait years, you wait for support, and if you don't, you just do it. The only thing, it would be great to have mécènes, like support people who wants to support art for artists and to help us because we need this. I mean, there's no money into the when you're doing things. Even Mapplethorpe, he had the support of so many rich people.
Who?
It's so
Who?
Mapplethorpe,
Oh,
Robert
Robert Mapplethorpe. Yeah, well, he was going out with a super millionaire who really helped him.
Yeah,
Robert also would go out, according to what I've seen and read. He would go to clubs and he would meet people, and there was maybe not a money exchange, but there was a desire to do things and also to create and
I
to have
have
fun.
me. I'm not going out with a super billionaire because I don't care, and I'm just only worried about love in my life. But to have the support of people who can you can pay them with art. I would love this. To have the support of important woman or man and to be helped would be great to do my next project.
Your documentary with your father, did you shoot inside his studio, inside his flat? Is that still there? Is it dans le jus?
I shot in this place, of course, and I shot also in the place I went. I still did what I'm doing, meaning I went to Charlotte Ropling, I went to Caroline Carson home, I went to their places to do the interviews because I wanted them to be in their jus.
Fantastic. Future plans.
Future plan will be my next project. First, I want my mail book Rendezvous to be seen all over the world. So I'm looking for places in Great Britain, in the States, in Europe, in galleries. So this is something I'm looking for first because I think this project needs to be seen. Then I'm thinking about starting my new book or my new project, but I need a little time. I've been working on this for 4 years, 5 years, the book on male nudes, and so I need now to make it. Um, yeah, it has to live. I cannot change projects right away. I need this time to show it to the world and to do exhibitions. And of course, I'm going to start my new project. I think it will be. I don't know exactly. I can't speak
Okay.
about it because
And we,
I'm working also on my feature movie.
what's your feature movie?
I've been working with this on this project since 2018, and now my idea is to finally shoot it soon.
What's it
And
about?
it's about feminism and about different point of view on feminism and
Okay.
different generation.
And well, that sounds interesting. Is it narrative or documentary, non-narrative or mixture?
It's a feature. It's characters inspired, of course, of real women we've met, but we are two working on this movie. I'm not alone, which is great. Also, I'm
You've got
working with
you're working with, sorry.
Marie-Noël Dana, who's a friend who's a script doctor, scenarist, and also we're gonna direct it together. We're gonna do this together, and
Uh,
this is very important for me.
you got any actors in mind?
Of course, we have actors in mind, but I'm really not. Now the idea is to sell it and to make it happen and to find the financial part, and then we'll the casting may change or not. We have good actors in mind.
If you've got another 10 minutes, we're going to wrap up. But
If we
yeah,
do another 10 minutes, I need to be in the cab. Is it okay for you?
yeah, absolutely.
Because I have to
I'll call
go
you
on a
back in
location.
10 minutes and then we're going to finally wrap it up. It's a good interview.
Okay, so let me ask for my
Okay.
cab, and when I'm in
Okay.
the cab,
Okay.
I.
Okay.
Sorry, can you see me?
Absolutely. You're on the way to a shoot. Is that correct?
I'm on the way to a movie set.
Wow. That's very exciting. How are you feeling?
It's not going to be the shooting right now. It's going to be the repérage. You know, the repérage is when you scout. So I'm gonna scout. I'm gonna look the location. I'm gonna see if the casting is the good one. I'm gonna speak with the team, and we are a lot. This is a movie, so movie is always like 25 person.
What are you expecting? Are you looking for something in particular? Have you read the script?
I wrote the script. It's a commercial. I'm working with a DOP, who's a friend. So I'm happy to see her first. Then I'm happy because I'm always happy when I'm working on project with people I love, and this is why I'm doing what I'm doing. I'm extremely grateful for the life I have. I mean, working with people you love and doing the thing you like and having no routine and not being like in a behind a desk is like the best thing for me. Is the best thing in life.
What are you expecting when you get there? Do you take shots when you're on set, or do you talk about?
What I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna take shoots and shots. Sorry about the different frames, seeing which angle might be the best, which how we gonna decide if the location, because we're looking for big loft and big studio, which is it has to be real. It has to be a real kitchen and a real salon and a real place, but at the same time it has to be minimal. So we're gonna have a look at this. We're gonna I don't know what we're gonna choose and decide many things today. And also we're gonna découper. Découper means you know exactly which sequence you're gonna do and how which angle is it gonna be framed like this, framed like that. What is she gonna say? Where's she gonna go? I mean, it's like really the opposite of a picture. It's what's happening behind the frame. The frame, sorry. What is the story? How are you gonna tell a new story? Which is, I mean, it's very difficult to be a good photographer and a good director. Normally, good directors are bad photographers and bad and good and the opposite. You know, like Stanley Kubrick, he was an amazing. He did good pictures, but he was really an amazing director. There's no equivalent. You cannot say he was good at both. It's not true. And so I'm trying to be good at both. Who was good at both? I don't know.
So, which role are you here? Are you directing the commercial? Is it a video commercial, or are you doing a photography?
I'm doing directing a commercial, a movie.
Okay, I see. And what's the story? You wrote the story, and is it how many minutes?
Oh, you know, a commercial is always 45, 30 minutes. It's really I mean, there's not a lot of, it's not like a short movie. It's not like you're telling a very important story. You're just selling something.
Okay. So normally, I mean, sometimes commercials are 30 seconds,
Yeah.
or is this a
Oh,
different kind of
30
commercial?
seconds, 45 seconds. This is the the time commercial have to, I mean, you can see on your TV, on your movie, whatever. It's always very, very short.
And you
So you
think
have to tell
about,
a lot.
yeah. Are you in the edit? When the guy edits, when you got the material, are you sitting there watching, or
Yeah,
you want?
yeah. Doing a movie is really a lot of work. I mean, doing pictures, it's not easy, but it's quick. You shooting, you preparing, but doing a movie is like you have 25 persons asking you different questions, and then you have to first do all the meetings, then shoot, then edit, then do the colorimetry,
Color grading.
yeah, color grading. Then you have to do the music, the sound, the voices. So it's like 2 months of work at least.
Is this your first commercial, or you done several before?
Oh, I don't, I'm not doing a lot of commercials because it takes so long. Um, but I'm doing, and I've been doing like some for trains, for
perfume, for jewelry. I mean, beauty. Yeah, I've done also one in December for my perfume. I've been doing a perfume on for my mail book. There's a perfume named Rendezvous, like the book. I've
I
been
see.
creating this perfume with Antoine Lee.
Yes, I saw it on your website. Do you actually go to the fields to smell the flowers? How do you put the perfume together? How do you know,
Uh,
what's the formula?
you know, when you do a perfume, unfortunately it's not fields and flowers. It's like of course I've been smelling a lot of different things since a few months. I've been working with Antoine Lee, who's the big nose, who's doing lots of big perfume, and we've been working together. Of course, he's the one who knows how to do it, but I've been sharing my dreams and also my smells and what I love and what I wanted, and we've been creating this together.
Is he like in the lab, you know, and you're
Yeah,
trying
it's
different
a lab.
scents?
It's exactly, it's a lab. It's not flowers, it's a lab, and he knows exactly how to create. For instance, when you have like I don't know, whatever rose. I don't have rose, but if there's a rose, it's not going to be only essence of rose. It's going to be like you have other. I mean, it's chemical formula.
And it's out in the shops now, the perfume Rendezvous.
Yeah, it's in Merci, which is a big a concept store in Paris. And it's going to be in another concept store in Marseille starting the 20th of June.
And is that something you spray sometimes on the shoots when you do fashion shoots? You want to say, hey, you want to try my
No,
perfume? No.
no. I'm of course my friends know the smell and I've been very interested, but I'm wearing it as my perfume now. So I really love this perfume, and but I've not been I'm not putting my perfume on my shoots. I mean, at least me, I'm smelling my perfume.
What's your take on social media?
Am I using social media? Of
Yeah.
course, a lot. I have Instagram. I'm quite fond of Instagram. It's a bit addictive, so it's kind of we have to be careful with this. But this is the only social media I like. I'm not on Facebook, TikTok, or X or whatever.
Are you posting your own, or do you get someone else to post
I'm
your?
posting my own. And
Wow.
I'm also working on my father Instagram with a friend. I mean, with a woman who's working on it. But I'm choosing the pictures, and I'm working with my brother also on the Instagram of my dad, which is Jean-Louis Sieff official. There's fake ones, so the only one is Jean-Louis Sieff official, and mine is Sonia Sieff. These are the only real accounts.
Tell me, do you do it every day? You post every day?
No, I'm not posting every day. Sometimes when I have things to say, I can, but mainly is once a week or sometimes. I mean, I don't have any schedule. I'm not this kind of woman. Um, After I'm posting stories because I believe stories are quite easy to post because they don't last. So you don't have to be perfect on stories. So I think it's very easy to post stories every day, at least every 2 days.
What books are you reading now?
I'm reading Nous Vivrons, which is a graphic book from Johann Sfar. I love him because he's a writer and he's drawing, and it's a book about what is happening now in Israel and of course in Palestine. So it's really very interesting. It's like I mean, it's super documented, and he's extremely aware about everything. And I love this man and his point of view because he's not judging. He knows the story. So he's just like, what is terrible about what is happening now is that many people are speaking without knowing, which is, please, I mean, impossible. And it's better to have those books. So Nous Vivrons, this is the book. And there's another one which I just received because I'm reading a lot, which is Mathieu Palin. And it's Les hommes manquent de courage. It's this one. Les hommes manquent de courage. It means men are not brave. Men like male men. So, and he's a man. So I'm super excited to read this book.
Do you think it's true? Today, men are just not courageous anymore.
Oh, it's not anymore. I think women are super more courageous than men. Some men are courageous, and but some. I think it's not a question of man or woman. I don't know if he meant men by male or meant by human beings, because in French it's the same. So I'm gonna see in the book.
That's interesting. What's your take on men and creativity today?
What does it mean, take on?
What does it mean to be a man and a woman
Wow.
today? Is
Wow, this is what Mathieu Palin, who's the same writer who wrote my essay. The essay in my book is written by the same man who wrote exactly this, what it is to be a man in 2024. So I guess he's answering it by the most authentic way I've ever read, which is it's very difficult because it's very difficult to be a clean man and to be somebody who's, I mean, patriarchy is really in our lives for so many years, so long, that even if we have to be honest and we have to change the deal and change the game, and it's not what is happening is amazing because things are getting rééquilibré, and I think for men it means also to accept to be more vulnerable, to be more weak, which is great. I mean, weakness is perfect. Weakness, we need weakness. Weakness is a big strength. To show your weakness is the best ever. I mean, and at the same time, it's a balance. This is the issue of our society now. I mean, there's so many issues, but one of these is we are. I mean, we have to stop playing roles. No, we are not, because we are men and women. We are not. We don't have to be and to express feelings a certain way. I mean, I believe that you can be very viril and very masculine as a woman. Sometimes I am, and be at the same time also vulnerable as a man. I mean, everything is possible. It's not a question of gender. It's a question of sensibility and of character.
have you done film shootings or photography shootings in Israel and Gaza or the West Bank?
Yeah. I've been working with Amos Gitaï, and I've been working with him with Natalie Portman on his movie. I was a movie photographer, a still photographer, as I told you. So I worked on the promotion of a few of his movies. Amos Gitaï is an Israeli director, and he was really for the peace, of course, of with Palestine. So we went in Gaza together. We shot a family who was like half Arab, half Jew. So they were both living in the same house, and it was it was a couple. I don't know where they live now. I don't know where they are now, but I shoot this couple, and for him it was like the couple and the la réunion of what we all thought it would work, but of course of course not. It's really a shame what's happening.
How did you feel when you got into the house? What was the feeling, the atmosphere in
Oh,
Gaza?
it was really a strange place because it was in the countryside. So it was in between. It was like a territory which was, I don't know exactly because it was a few years ago, but it was in between two. I'm not sure it was like Israel or Palestine. It was really like at the border. We had a small road. There was this house and this couple who was a mixed couple. And I remember the laugh, the love, the fraternité, it was an amazing experiment. And Amos, who was in between all this, and I loved doing this. I mean, I loved going to Israel or to Palestine. I didn't feel at this time it was not a period of conflict. So we could feel that hope was here and that people wanted peace.
If you could go back anywhere in the world, where would you go to shoot?
If I would go somewhere in the world, um, I would go to Africa. There's so many countries I want to discover. I would go to Nepal, Bhutan. I would go to Patagonia. I would go where the nature is, to Galapagos for the nature, and to Cuba. I've never been to Cuba. I really want to. I've never been to China, real China, like deep China. So many countries. India. I mean, I love India. I have been only 2 or 3 times. I would love to go back.
And your photos, are you doing stuff in the frame or out of the frame?
What do you mean?
So the subject. So if we look at some pictures, they're not always in the middle, they're on the side, or you capture, you know, just a bit of them on the side or the full frame. Or do you think about the background as well?
Oh, of course. I love backgrounds. I love shooting, as I told you, outside locations, because sometimes people are crossing the street at the same time. There's the architecture. I'm not putting my model in the center of my frame. I'm trying to compose a frame with backgrounds, foregrounds, on the left, on the right. Everything is.
So in the context of when you were on the film shoot in Israel or Palestine, you know, within both, were you thinking about the frame?
Yeah. And I remember shooting the couple, and yeah, of course I was shooting.
How would you shoot the couple?
If I'm correct, because it's been a long time, the couple they were both sitting at the same table, and there was a window, and I shot the couple on this window, like with the light coming through it. So yeah, it was. I mean, I'm always thinking about how I'm gonna position, how I'm gonna place myself to have the frame I'm willing to have.
What was it like working with Natalie Portman?
I shot a picture with her, which is there's Israeli flag on the left. It was in the Jaffa Port harbor, and she was on the right, and she's bending like if the wind was super strong from Israel. And this picture is, I love this picture. And we were in the harbor of Jaffa, and it was a terrible day, terribly. Like there was a storm, and the weather was awful. And suddenly, like really like a biblical light came and really went on us. And like it was so amazing, the atmosphere. And shooting with her was, of course, one of my dreams, because I mean, Natalie Portman is one of the best actresses. She's super inspiring and super clever. So speaking with her also is really yeah. I mean, we were together alone in Israel. It was winter. Everything was special, you know. We were young. We were alone on our own. So we connected.
Was this for a few days or just one day or half a day?
No, I stayed 1 week at least, 1 or 10 days.
Was this an assignment?
Yeah, exactly.
The light, photographing natural light is very, very difficult because it's easy to overexpose and not get it right. Technically, what are you thinking of in terms of the dials, in terms of the f-stop, in terms of the type of film, the ISO, the exposure?
It's my job. It's like automatic. I don't have an automatic camera. I have everything is manual. I'm working with an M6 from Leica, or Hasselblad, so everything I have to do it. So I know when the light is changing, as soon as the light changes, and I know it's gonna be overexposed. So I'm moving my diaph or my speed. It depends what I want, the aperture or the speed. If the people is running, if I want to have a profondeur de champ, if I want to
Depth of field, yeah.
I mean, it's like automatic. I'm doing it like without breathing.
What about ISOs? Do you use 400, 800, Kodak, Fuji?
I use Kodak
Reference?
3X, and I use Kodak for 400
Portrait.
color and portrait. Yeah. exactly.
What about
I use sometimes I can push them if I want to have grain, but normally I don't. It can be, I love also when there's a lot of grain, but this is, I mean, normally I'm more like close to 400 easy, and I'm always exposing them for 325 and a little less, to have a better contrast.
do you develop your own film?
No, I have a lab.
You go to the lab.
Yeah,
May I ask which one?
I go to Picto, and before I was going to Dupont, which are one of the biggest labs in Paris. Dupont, Picto, they're good labs.
And what about the actual print? How do you do that? Do you do it by hand in black and white, or is it
Yeah,
C digital?
I do it by hand. I have my printer, who is Thomas Consani, is my black and white printer. And I have 2-color printer, and same in Picto, in the lab Picto in Bastille. I have Fred Obati, who are very good, and I'm working with them. And I think they're old school printers. I mean, in analog, of course. And in digital, I'm working with Pomigre, which is another lab, and he's my retoucher. And he's great too, because he's from the old school also. So he knows that I don't like too much retouch. I don't like retouch. I don't want people to be fake. I don't want to transform them. I hate this. I don't like Photoshop. This is not my.
What about the old school? So what is the old school?
The old school means that those people are like more than 40, 50s. So they know how it was before with analog, and they know exactly how to print in the good way. They're not like only the digital generation. They know how it is, how it looked.
What will happen in 20, 30 years when people don't know that?
It's good for them to learn first, and of course things are going to disappear slowly, I'm sure.
What's going to happen to images? You think it's going to be automated by AI?
Oh yes, a lot. I mean, I think we're gonna be surrounded by, I mean, we are even now surrounded by pictures, but it's gonna be, we won't know if it's real or fake models, real or fake locations, real or fake brands, real or fake informations, docs, fake. This is the big thing of the next decades. What is fake? What is not? Who is fake? Who is not? Are you real? Are you retouched? Are you Botoxed? Is it your nose? Whatever. I mean, authenticity is going to be a high value. That's why I believe in analog. I believe in real people with real faces and real wrinkles and I mean, I believe in this because of course it's going to be super rare.
Finally, philosophies on life.
Yeah.
Well, what are your philosophies on life?
What's my philosophy on life? I mean, I think my philosophy, carpe diem, easy, simple, in a good way, being simple, try not to overreact, overthink, try to be connected with something very beautiful things in life, beautiful moments. Every day you have to be émerveillé, to have something that makes you happy, which has to be very simple. Not buying something, not only very simple things are the most important.
Well, thank you very much, Sonia Sieff, for the
you.
interview. It was fantastic.
Thank you very much for the time we spent together. Thank you.
Should you have any comments, questions, or suggestions, please get in touch. This is your host, Richard Lippman, and thank you for listening to a Fish Out of Water podcast. This podcast is kindly supported by Camera Museum of London, pre-owned Hasselblad specialists located at 44 Museum Street, London, WC1A 1LY. Visit the website on www.cameramuseum.co.uk. www.filmmaker.uk.